between the lines, all the sweet refrain. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you. Even when I'm lonely and in pain, I see you in the beauty of the stars at night. I see you in my life, I feel alright. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you in the smile of a baby, sweet and true. I can see you in the eyes of my very best friends. I see you in these bonds, just like your love that never ends. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you with the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I pray. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray.
Kayang magiliw, kay masagsirahanan. Alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting. Sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil. Sa nagagang tutok, sa simoy at sa langit kong bagaw. Ay nilagang tulang, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magtitinig. Lumalang araw ng walang pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga aking, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Sa bangga hermosa, preciosa perlita, orgullo de Mindanao. Sus peleas de lagas son las que mosean tu deliciosa polita, orgullo de Mindanao. Flores y amores que adornan su jardín, eres la imagen del bello Edén. Zamboanga hermosa, preciosa, perlita, orgullo de Mindanao.
Buenos días, zamboangueños y todos residentes y votantes quien vota aquí na Zamboanga. Buenos días and welcome to our live broadcast from the Garden Deck of Garden Orchid Hotel. Today, the kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas Zamboanga City Chapter, through its partners, will heed the call of the people. You who are listening over AM and FM radio, watching through free and cable TV, and following over the different platforms of social media of all the member stations of the KBP and our KBP Zamboanga Facebook page to get to know more about the candidates who will be given the opportunity and the power to change your lives, the lives of your children, and even the next generation in your family. Kaya inaanyayahan namin kayong tumutok, makinig, at pumili ng kung sino man ang makikita niyong karapat-dapat na magpatakbo ng ating gobyerno. I am Eric George Basilio, the Vice Chairman of the KBP Zamboanga Chapter and Station Manager for radio stations DXCM 97.9 Love Radio and DXHT 102.7 Yes the Best Zamboanga. And I will be your moderator for today. Este el acerta bota. Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto, the Local Candidates Forum 2022. And unlike previous fora, this is a two-day forum where we'll be talking to the congressional candidates on day one and the mayoral candidates on day two, which is tomorrow. I know we are all excited to ask the questions and listen to the answers. So, here we go. Let us now welcome our candidates. Representing Adelante Zamboanga Party, Kimer Adan Taing Olaso. Representing Lakas Christian Muslim Democrats, Wendell Facultad Soto. Muhammad Sali Lajzamat Li Amang of Kilusang Bagong Lipunan was also sent an invitation but declined to attend. So with Lakas Christian Muslim Democrats, Representative Manuel Jose Mendoza Dalipe. For Partido Prosperidad y Amor para na Zamboanga, Juan Climaco Elago. Second. For Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, Fictal Zumaani Madudin. Mr. Jerry Evangelista Perez of Laban ng Demokratikong Pilipino was also sent an invitation but declined to attend. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our candidates for Day 1 of Asertabo Ta, Ako'y Matalino sa Aking Pagboto, the Local Candidates Forum 2022. Candidates, you may now take your seats, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the order of answering our questions for today has already been predetermined in a draw of ballots earlier today. So before we even open up the meat of today's activity, we would like to throw in right away our first question to our candidates. And as previously determined, we will have our first candidate to answer the question from the independent candidate, Taib Haron Nasaron. Sir, we have our question for you. I will read the question first in English and in Tagalog before you will answer. In terms of progress, what do you think is the prime resource or asset of your district? In terms of progress, ano po para sa inyo ang pinagmamalaki ninyong pag-unlad na naganap sa inyong distrito? Please answer this in 1 or 2 words.
Hello. This is actually about economic development. This is actually Zamboanga City. It is under category 3 when it comes to the national government, under the top 10 of the national government cities. But however, nakikita ko...
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. You said economic development.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
we will
Socio-economic development.
We will give you the chance to explain.
Yes,
in our
socio-economic
second-
development now. However,
Excuse me,
for us
sir.
right now, Zamboanga City, nakikita natin, actually mayaman siya. But
there is a follow-up
mahirap pa rin.
question. Thank you, sir.
It meant to say we can do something about a portfolio, a macro sustainable economic development by the collaborations of different
Excuse me,
stakeholders.
Mr. Candidate. Thank you. I requested that you answer the first question in 1 or 2 words.
Yes.
And I believe you answered economic development.
Yes, economic development.
And now, for you to be able to further expound on that, the second question is,
Yeah.
what law can you propose to enact or amend to further highlight this asset? Anong law o batas ang maaari ninyong imungkahi o baguhin na magpapatibay sa pag-unlad nito? You are given 2 minutes.
Yes, kailangan natin is ma-forward natin ito, magagawa tayo ng bill para ma-forward natin, mabibigyan na sa Congress, na mabibigyan attentions ng dito, especially in particular in Zamboanga City District 1, na especially ito, kasama itong Zamboanga Economic Zone under RA 9703, RA 977 Presidential Decree. Kailangan natin mabigyan itong attention because ito magdadala ng pagpag-unlad dito sa Zamboanga City District 1. We can induce not only by hundreds of thousands job employments, we can induce revenues, not only a million but a multi-billion revenues in taxes to contribute not only here in Zamboanga City, even in national government. We can do something here in Zamboanga City. We will make Zamboanga City an intermodal operations as an industrialization for Zamboanga City as a city. Now, here comes, so Zamboanga City, the ecozone alone, this is, it is indicated on the magandang itong indicator. So it meant to say, magiging siyang intermodal not only Mindanao, but however, Visayas and Luzon. So, out of this, our revenues in taxes, we can get this, we can introduce this as a portfolio, as our, to other countries, to catch up or to invite some investor, local or international investor to come in to invest here so that we can improve the life of your marginal people. Makatatrabaho ang walang pinag-aralan at saka yung up to the present, yung maraming pa rin ng walang trabaho, yung mga professional up to the present, variety professional, wala pa rin trabaho. So, ma-absorb sila hanggang sa taas, galing sa taas hanggang sa baba. just because of this. Puro, ang macro, kailangan natin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Candidate. Mr. Nasaron, thank you very much for your answer. Now we will address the same question to our next candidate, Mr. Kimer Olaso. And once again, our first question. Our first question, you will not be timed yet. But once you start answering the second question, that is when the timer starts. In 1 or 2 words, in terms of progress, what do you think is the prime resource asset of your district?
Of course, industry. We have to improve our industry in our district, District 1.
Thank you very much. And now, what law can you propose to enact or amend to further highlight this asset? Timer starts now.
Well, pertaining to industry, we have to improve our shipping industry. Just like Singapore, they were good enough. Singapore had boomed because of their shipping industries. Shipping industries alone can survive Singapore without any other things in Singapore. You know why Zamboanga City, we're a trading pattern, a trading route for all shipping lines now, coming from Australia, going to Japan, going to Taiwan, going to China. If we can put another port in Zamboanga City to accept international vessel, then we can boom our industries by means of tourism, by means of goods that we're sending to Manila. If we will put another port in West Coast, that will be shortened for them. We can help not only the industries but including the people outside countries kasi kada barato el daton mga supply si imbya kita na Manila. Just imagine, imbya kita daton goods downtown, we will ferry them, we have to pay 6,000 pesos for the trucking. But if we will help our ports in West Coast, farther west, then we will save more money. Hindi kita gasta grande. And that will help our people, boosting our industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The same question for Mr. Wendell Soto. First question, in terms of progress, what do you think is a prime resource asset of your district? 1 or 2 words, please.
Presently, we can say, for me, we have the asset, agro-economic tourism, and very clearly, we have the economic zone in District 1, which I believe would be strengthened or improved.
Okay, thank you. Now, what law can you propose to enact or amend to further highlight this asset?
If given the chance to serve in Congress, I will pass a legislation to improve the eco-zone. No? Perhaps we can establish or put a seaport there because that is what I believe lacking. Investors won't come in because the lack of seaport. And of course, we have to continue the Build program of President Duterte. We have to create more roads in District 1, especially connecting Zamboanga del Norte, because in this manner we can improve or create more jobs, the development in the far-flung areas in District 1.
Thank you very much, Mr. Soto. The same question for Juan Climaco Elago II. Allow me to repeat, in terms of progress, what do you think is the prime resource asset of your district? In a few words.
Thank you. It's both agriculture and marine.
Thank you very much. And what law can you propose to enact or amend to further highlight these assets?
I would propose that we have a law that regulated the distribution of the Coco Levy Fund, which is about 68 billion pesos. I would propose that Zamboanga City will get about 1 billion peso of that to be invested in our coconut industry and other related industries in Zamboanga City, particularly those that industries or products that can be found only in Zamboanga City, such as seaweed, rubber, of course, coffee and cacao. We should have a vertical development, meaning we should not export raw products. We should export manufactured products. Let's say for coconut, it should be virgin oil, it should be cocoa water or cocoa sugar. And if, let's say, coffee, let's make another brand for coffee na kung may coffee Batangas, may coffee Zamboanga rin that we will also sell, just like chocolate, and of course seaweed. We have to take into account seaweed. And of course the fishing industry. We should use the money to capitalize our present businessmen who needs funding. And we should give them a grant that is free of interest or 1% interest for 5 years. That will give them enough time to grow and be able to pay whatever debts they have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The same question for Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, Representative Victal Majudin.
Yes, good morning to everyone. No? We need peace and order first in order to have an investment in our city. Without peace and order, investor will not come into our country, and we need an economic forum.
Okay, so what law can you propose or enact or amend to further and highlight this asset?
Yes, I will enact a law in case I will be elected as a Congress to protect the economic of our country. We have to have a law that really address the economic issues in our city. We need an investor, an open economic forum in Zamboanga City. We will try to invite other experts in this field of economic. We can even get participants from Manila or anywhere in the Asian country. We can get some funding institution. In fact, by next month, we have already a plan to invite from the ADB and the World Bank. They're coming here on 6 and 7. And then I will invite everybody to open and visit this forum. This is another form of to develop our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The same question for Kilusang Bagong Lipunan Representative Alain Alibasa. Oh, he's not here. Sorry. We will address the same question for the representative of Partido Prosperidad y Amor para na Zamboanga, Madam Maria Isabel Climaco. In terms of progress, what do you think is the prime resource asset of your district? In a few words, please.
The primary resource of our district is food security. Sorry. Thank you. The primary resource of the 1st District of Zamboanga in terms of food security is the sardine industry.
Thank you very much. And what law can you propose to enact or amend to further highlight this asset?
If given the opportunity to represent Congress, I would legislate the Ecological Sustainability Law. This provides an opportunity for us in the industry of fishing to allow the fishing ban on marine resources. This model has been started by the SOFIL, the BFAR, and the city of Zamboanga, which can be a model of sustainability for other parts of the Philippines. I remember Senator Tolentino calling me, asking my help for them in Cavite. If we have the ecological sustainability law that will ensure our marine sustainability, we will be able to harvest the fish at the right time so that we will be able to have a sustainable catch. In 2013, after the Zamboanga siege, we were able to send 100,000 tons of sardines, of cans of sardines, to help Yolanda. Food security is a very vital resource, and the industry of sardines is something that we must take care of, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Climaco. And that is actually just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg, as we call it. So now, we'll be moving on with the introduction of our panel, yes, who are joining us today to lend credibility to our forum. So at first, we would like to introduce our first panelist. He is the chairman of the Infrastructure Committee and the Regional Development Council, Region 9, 2016 to 2019, and has been re-elected 2019 to 2022. Okay, and he is currently the member of Task Force Duterte, Zamboanga City Power, acting as board of director of the Zamboanga City Electric Cooperative, or SAMCELCO. He is a member of the board of directors of the Zamboanga City Special Economic Zone Authority, and he is the president and member of the board of directors of the Zamboanga Chamber of Commerce and Industry Foundation, Incorporated. Please put your hands together for Attorney Carl Andrew M. Rubio. Our second member of the panel belongs to the Salas La Vista and La Vista law firm. Attorney Honorisa Cristel M. La Vista is our current president of the IBP Zambasulta chapter, as well as the commissioner of the Commission on Bar Discipline. She was also elected as the vice chairman, external affairs of the Regional Advisory Group for Police Transformation and Development of Police Regional Office 9 just recently. And aside from the positions she holds, she is also engaged in private practice for more than 10 years now as a partner, once again in the Salas La Vista and La Vista law firm. Please welcome Attorney Honorisa Cristel M. La Vista. Of course, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of our sectoral representatives, Ms. Juliet Tigo of the FZCCSO, Ms. Raquel Olivio of the Women's Sector, Mr. Alberto Dizon of the Farmers Sector, Mr. Kerwin Serrano of the Persons with Disabilities, Ms. Janet Ko of the Vendor Sector, Mr. Nasir Ismula of the Indigenous People, and Ms. Lourdes Mangawang of the Senior Citizens Sector. Thank you all very much for being here. Once again, we'd also like to acknowledge the presence of our COMELEC representatives, Attorney Stephen Roy Cañete and Mr. Oliver Alar. We are very much thankful and honored with your partnership. Of course, our KBP or Kapisanan ng mga Broadcasters ng Pilipinas Zamboanga Chapter, headed by our chapter chairman, Mr. Belsi Agustin. And of course, our partner in this forum, JD Production, led by Mr. Jovi Ilagan. And of course, we would like to thank our generous sponsors, Garden Orchid Hotel, our official venue, Gold Live Productions for our online broadcast provider, Queen Laundry, our dry clean specialists, Albury Advertising Corporation, Vista de Lente for our LED wall, and Kobe Sound System. So thank you all very much for your partnership and generosity. And at this point, we'd like to hear our welcome remarks from the KBP Vice Chairman, Pastor Emmanuel Manny Aquino, and Station Manager of DXAS AM Far Eastern Broadcast Corporation.
Magandang umaga po sa ating mga kababayan, both locally and abroad. Tayo ay nasusubaybayan ngayon live sa mga himpilan ng radyo at telebisyon ng KBP Zamboanga member stations, gayon din sa KBP Zamboanga FB page. Noong February 4, 2022 ay ginanap ang ating KBP Presidential Forum upang ating masusing kilatisin ang kaalaman at kakayahan ng ating mga presidential aspirants. Narito tayong muli upang pagtuunan ng pansin ang isa pang mahalagang sangay ng ating pamahalaan. Bukod sa Executive Department na para sa mga presidential aspirants, mahalaga din na ating kilalanin ang mga tumatakbong district representatives na ihahalal natin sa Legislative Department. Ano ba ang gagampanan ng posisyon bilang district representative? Ang mga members of the House of Representatives ay bahagi ng Kongreso na may mahalagang tungkulin sa legislative process bilang lower chamber of Congress. Ang nasa upper chamber ay ang mga senador, samantalang ang nasa lower chamber ay ang mga members of the House of Representatives. Ang Kongreso ay may hawak ng legislative power na responsable sa pag-aakda ng mga bills at resolusyon na iiral sa buhay ng bawat Pilipino. Ang Kongreso din ang nagre-review ng budget na pinoproposed ng Executive Department at ang paglikha ng mga General Appropriations Bill ay ilan lamang sa kanilang mga tungkulin. Ang mga kinatawan o mga kongresista ay manunungkulan sa loob ng 3 taon na termino. Sa loob ng 2 linggo ay maghahalal na tayong muli ng ating mga kongresista na magiging miyembro ng Legislative Department. Sila ang ating mga kinatawan who shall oversee the enactment of relevant policy needs of the city and of the country. Kasama natin ngayon ang mga kumakandidato sa pagkakongresista sa Distrito 1 at 2 ng ating minamahal na syudad ng Zamboanga. Sino sa kanila ang ating pipiliin? Ngayong umaga hanggang sa Mayo 9, 2022, isa-isip at isa-puso natin ang katagang ako ay matalino sa aking pagboto. Mapagpalang umaga pong muli sa inyong lahat at samahan nawa tayo ng Diyos ngayong halalan 2022.
Thank you very much, Pastor Manny, for that welcome. And now, we will forego reading the guidelines and mechanics as this has already been presented and agreed upon by all parties. Please go ahead, our first panelist.
Okay, here's the question. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everyone and good morning to our candidates. Here's the question. Zamboanga City is the largest city in terms of land area. Why do you think we cannot be self-sufficient in rice production despite all the programs on fertilizer, farming equipment, including loans, and yet nothing significant is happening? What do you think is really needed to boost the agricultural capacity of the city? Zamboanga City is the largest city in terms of land area. So sa palagay po ninyo, bakit kaya kahit malawak ang mga lupain natin, ay hindi pa rin natin kayang mag-produce ng sarili nating bigas na sapat sa demand ng syudad? Kahit maraming mga programa para magkaroon ng fertilizer, maayos na mga farming equipment, pati mga loans para sa ating mga magsasaka, wala pa rin pakinabang na pag-unlad ang syudad pagdating sa pagsasaka. Ano po sa palagay ninyo ang pinaka nararapat gawin upang mapalakas ang agrikultura sa ating syudad?
You're right. Thank you for that question. Pertaining to that matter, we're having problem right now in Zamboanga City as most of our farmland, rice fields, they've been converted into subdivision. Nawawala na po tayo ng mga lupa para magtanim ng mga bigas, not only subdivision, but they're also converted into factories. Now, what's the problem is, like what had happened to Talisayan, Mirato, ang mga rice field alya, keda factories. So where will these farmers plant again? So how are we going to encourage them to plant? Wherein pag taperjal mga tiyera, how can we sustain rice in Zamboanga City? Kasi naubusan pa na po tayo ng mga lupa. Although we have other rice field area in Zamboanga City, but that is not sufficient, not like other areas. If you come and visit Vietnam, Cambodia, you can see the rice field. It's about 100 to 100 kilometers ko rito, rice field lang siya. But on our side here, that's very little land. That's not large enough to supply Zamboanga City. That is why as of now, Zamboanga City, we're still getting rice outside Zamboanga City, which is a locally made, a locally produced rice, and of course, imported rice. Talitan supply ka nato nila other country. So, ibig sabihin nun, we don't have the right land to plant rice. Kulang yung lugar natin. And our area is hilly, it's difficult to plant rice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. By the way, for our first segment, the questions will be addressed only to District 1 candidates. For the second candidate to answer, we would like to call on Mr. Wendell Soto.
Based on my observation, there are two things that are industrial. So in order to address this, if given the opportunity to serve in Congress, I will see to it, we will amend existing laws prohibiting irrigated lands to be converted at any cost. If it is irrigated, whether it is in the industrial zone or commercial zone, it should not be converted into subdivision or factories. And of course, we have to give all-out support to our farmers. Post-harvest facilities, we have to give them the sufficient rice production capital in Western Mindanao. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The same question for Ms. Maria Isabel Climaco.
Can you repeat the question?
May I request our panelists to repeat the question.
All right. Zamboanga City is the third largest city in terms of land area. Why do you think we cannot be self-sufficient in rice production despite all the programs on fertilizer, farming equipment, including the loans? Yet nothing significant is happening. Why do you think, what do you think is really needed to boost the agricultural capacity of the city?
In order for us to boost the agricultural capacity of Zamboanga City, we have what we call a Converge program. This convergence is a consortium of the Department of Agriculture, our farmers, fisher folk, so that we will be able to develop the La Paz corridor. If given the opportunity, we must really study if rice is a priority product of Zamboanga City. However, through the city government of Zamboanga, we have what we call the Siembra Vida program that has given farm inputs for our farmers, not only today, but even in the past when we had the dry season. We really have to invest on food security with the possibility of providing cold storage facilities, farm implements, as well as fertilizers, and even grow into organic farming to be able to subsidize the farmers of La Paz and other areas in our district, in District 1. Aside from rice, we have to look at other potential sources of production. And we would like to inform the public that the Kadiwa on Wheels was one of the very important projects that we have done despite of the pandemic, wherein the farmers, fisher folk was able to go to different barangays to provide food sustainability. We have to diversify our fishery resources and diversify our agricultural resources without taking out the opportunity to help our farmers y también el de aton mga sembradores tener oportunidad de sembrada, fertilizer, abono y también el cold storage facilities por medio del Departamento de Agricultura y también el programa de Convergence, pati también conversion and allowing our farmers to become part of the CDA, and that is my solution. We have to invest on food security. Muchas gracias y vaya con Dios.
Thank you very much. We shall now listen to Mr. Taib Nasaron.
Regarding about this agricultural, this is under the parameters of agricultural industry. So kailangan bibigyan natin, especially the national government, will address this agriculture because hindi sila nabigyan, especially for the price. It was limited by our DTI. So the DTI, it must be with the conjunctions of the BOI from the foreign countries coming in, the products of this rice. So bibigyan natin itong agriculture ng attention, not only we here in Zamboanga City, but we are going to call attention from the national government to support, to address this problem. We have a very wide area here in Zamboanga City, not only into shelter program, converted to industry, but however, malaki pa rin ang ano natin. Bibigyan natin ng kailangan sufficient maglalagay ng solar at saka irrigations or necessary reservoir so that kahit hindi walang tubig, ay mayroon pa rin siya makakuha by using submersible pump, by using this innovative technology. So now, bibigyan natin ang kailangan natin itong a huge project for agriculture, not only small farmers. Lalagyan natin, bibigyan natin ng attention, and then workshop to them para maintindihan nila, hindi lang pababayaan ng national government, especially yung mga nagtitraining, NIDA, DTI, and whatever concerned agency, kailangan pa rin close supervision to them sa kanilang farmers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That ends the round for our first question for our District 1 representatives. We shall now proceed to our second question. Attorney Carl Rubio has drawn the question and shall now read it.
Good morning to all the candidates. Thank you for allotting your time to this very important forum, and I congratulate you for being here. The question is, we have a lot of good local laws in the city, such as the Kasambahay Ordinance and Anti-Smoking Ordinance. And yet, many can attest that these laws are not seriously and religiously implemented. Don't you think it is about time that we should formulate or perhaps strengthen a law that will prosecute offices, agencies, or personnel who fail in their duties? Explain further your answer. Ang daming mga magagandang local laws o mga...
First candidate to answer the question is Mr. Wendell Soto.
Yes, it's high time that we, if given the opportunity to serve in Congress, then we will pass a legislation to strengthen these local ordinances. We should also have a national version of that, for which either we could put penal provision therein or a reward system for the local government who has the political will or to really implement these laws. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now listen to Ma'am Maria Isabel Climaco.
Based on the question, it has to do with a local ordinance. Thus, what's needed is just to amend the law to ensure that we strengthenly implement these policies. For example, the Kasambahay law. On May 1st, we will be celebrating Labor Day, and we have already had partnerships with all the Kasambahays, and it has been a great opportunity for me to be part of them. We have to ensure that they are able to be given opportunities so that their rights are respected, but more importantly, work with the Department of Labor and Employment to ensure they have just compensation for all the work that they have done. I have been saying, ang mga kasambahay ay kaparte ng ating pamilya. They are members of the family that we need to take care. As far as anti-smoking campaign, I think what we have to intensify is to strengthen our cancer awareness program. Whoever is brave enough to keep smoking and smoking without fear that they will die of cancer is really going to be a challenge. So we really have to intensify our anti-smoking campaign, starting with our own family. Cancer awareness is very, very important, and the causes of smoking leads to lung cancer. So what needs to be done is an amendment of the provisions of the ordinance to intensify it so that we will be able to benefit, for example, our kasambahays as well as our beloved members of the family, so that when you smoke, you will be aware of the causes of cancer, which leads to death. So if you do not want to have secondary smoke in order to affect our family, we must protect our family. I also had an opportunity in Congress to legislate our smoking bill, and today the graphic designs are already implemented. It will take time, but the advocacy to save every member of the family is something that I value as a family counselor. Muchas gracias y vaya con Dios.
Mr. Taib Nasaron.
Based on the questions, kailangan natin dito lang, we are going to strictly implement whatever the local government unit nangdiyan ng ordinance. So at the same time, bibigyan natin itong mga kasangbahay is what concern lahat ng concerned agencies magtulungan, haninaan, so that we can control this anti-smoking. And then, bibigyan ng talagang atensyon at saka ipaabot ito sa taas, sa Congress, kung pwede nga ipaabot. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to all our candidates. That ends our... I'm sorry, there's one more question. This time, it will be read by our first panelist.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
last one.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's okay, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Well, on my side, LGU must take action on this, strictly implement whatever regulation or ordinances that the city has proposed. You must have a strong political will in order to catch the real culprit. You know, sometimes I've seen it with my two eyes. We already have, people around the corner catching these people like the illegal smoking, but then those penalties were not given hardly on them. Debe kita dali mas grande pena kung ang mga penala kung matan tapuma na non-designated smoking area, which is really bad for our health. But then, sa LGU daton, hindi kung mobile, nothing will happen. The same thing as it goes with the kasambahay. This bill was, ordinance was passed last year and was already approved in Zamboanga City. I am so happy at Chinigitaste. Now, it's up to LGU also to monitor and help the kasambahay, not by merely just having a program, but checking on each and every household if ever this ordinance have been implemented. Now, if ever I'll be given a chance to sit in Congress, I will legislate a bill that will penalize LGU officials who are not following whatever legislations they had done for their city. It's about time to penalize also the higher officials for those who are not complying such. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again, all our candidates. And for our final question for this segment, we will ask our panelist, Attorney Cristel, to please draw the question.
Okay. Aside from poor management, do you believe that the problems on basic utilities, water rationing, blackouts, and slow internet connectivity has to do with limiting laws? What can you do if elected? Bukod po sa poor management o hindi wastong pamamahala, naniniwala po ba kayo na ang problema natin sa basic utilities tulad ng water rationing, blackouts at mahinang internet connection ay nangyayari dahil hindi sapat ang ating batas? What can you do about this if you are elected?
Okay, to answer, the first candidate to answer the question will be Madam Maria Isabel Climaco.
In order for us to respond to the utilities, there should really be investments. Because without investments, we cannot improve the system. Take, for example, the water district. The city government has provided 80 million pesos to address the non-revenue sources so that we will be able to implement the water system. Talking about blackouts, Attorney Rubio sits in the board, and I supported the IMC, which today, they have committed to putting up battery-operated generator sets to address the issue of power fluctuations because we are really at the tail end of this connectivity. As far as internet connections, I have met very recently with one of the telcos which provided a backup generator system for Zamboanga City to be a backbone of interoperability for Zamboanga City to fiber optic connections. Ang sinasabi ko bilang representante ng Primer Distrito de Ciudad de Zamboanga ay pasa kita unlay. Kita address ko ng telecommunications companies, no to data cap and yes to only data. The serve ng ating mga kabataan, the serve natin ng only data para tayo'y makapagtrabaho at sila ay makapag-aral. These three important aspects in our utilities can only be resolved with enough investments to pump prime so that these utilities will be able to better serve the people, which is also our priority. Better service through investments will mean that better opportunities for our city to grow.
Maybe a present we need a solar, a very big areas to put up in order to produce energy. Solar systems, it can be. And other, we are going to find out another source of, if we can find out an hydroelectric support from in order to supply us. Now, in these aspects, so right now, even this hydropower from Iligan, this is not only supply from Zamboanga City, even Surigao City, the Dapa Island, and then very wide. So meaning we are going to support, we are going to call the attention also from the national government under to support under BOT program. Because the city government is allowed to induce two consultant in-house under the ADB and the World Bank will support for this with the multi-billion program under BOT and solicited BOT program under a huge project. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We shall now listen to Mr. Kimer Olaso.
Thank you so much for that question. Well, pertaining to that question, I have an answer for it. First, you should get the full trust from the investor. If the investor will not have trust on us, how could they invest in Zamboanga City? Most especially for power interruption. We know that's a common problem in Zamboanga. So I'm going for a renewable power source of energy. We have to install solar energy or solar charging panel in every barangays, schools that, we lose energy all the time. Now, pertaining to internet connection, I have this representation had made earlier this address this problem pertaining to internet connection with our DICT, ASEC Ariel Gaan. Yung kwento kami, ablo ko nila, sir, can we do internet connection in Zamboanga City? Abla, yes, the government is having already the program by sharing free Wi-Fi. But the problem is, abla kumigo, we don't have the fiber optic cable that is reachable to far-flung barangay, including nearby barangay, because we don't have budget. So I told him, if ever I'll be given the chance, I'll be sitting in Congress, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to allocate budget, look for a source for DICT, para pwede kita channel fiber optic cable until Impapa of District 1, until La Paz of District 1, pwede kita dali kanila internet connection to fiber optic cable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The same question for Mr. Wendell Soto.
For me, first, we should accept the fact that at present, there are only, I guess, 2 or 3 major players in the internet industry. We have the Globe, Smart, and presently we have the Dito. Perhaps, if given the opportunity, it's high time that we should tweak a little or amend our constitution, allowing foreign investors to come in our country. Investors who are actually involved in this kind of industry. And so that the more players in the internet industry or communication industry, it would be much better for our country. Internet, I think, would be improved. I think only the foreign investors has the capability, has the resources to put the fiber optics that we badly need Because at present, even though the DICT gives free Wi-Fi, we should accept the fact that the broadband width that they are giving in far-flung areas or in barangay are very limited. And with regard to our electricity problem, I think it's also high time to open to foreign investors to come in, put up power plants in our city, or invite more investors to put power plants in the city. That will resolve our electricity problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our candidates from District 1. We will now be moving on to the questions for our District 2 candidates. May I request our panelists to please draw the question for District 2. We will now be moving on to District 2.
The question is, for our District 2 candidates, the question is, if we are to abolish the SK, what could be a better alternative that will ensure the participation and empowerment of the youth while safeguarding them from political manipulations? Kung atin pong i-abolish o tatanggalin ang SK, ano ang mas mainam na alternatibo na maaaring ipalit dito na magsisigurado na sa partisipasyon at pagpapalakas ng mga kabataan at magsilbing proteksyon nila laban sa mga political manipulations o pagmamanipula ng may mga political agenda.
And now, the first to answer the question is Juan Climaco Elago II.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. My first reaction is I would not repeal or abolish SK. You have to take into account the creation of an SK is because of a historical event in 1970s where the youth of Filipino youth rose up and gained political prominence. They were able to fill up the streets with young students. We cannot underestimate the power of the youth. However, I would be more on amending the law of the SK. Para kumigo, number one, the age limit of 15 to 18 is not a good rate. 15 years old, may pasiko sa sabi. Makin 18 years old, may pasiko sa sabi. Debe el range del deaton, we will amend it from 18 to 25 years old. These are the youth, or maybe you can even reach it up to 30. Kasi consider dyan young workers. So these people
vosotros, el Local Candidates
So,
Forum
technical
2022.
call, 5 minutes. Cameraman, sound system.
The Local Candidates Forum 2022. Cuanto eleksyon niya, Elia pasa. Pwede ba tu habla kay justo el desisyon kung quién to'y abota? Zamboangueño, ya acertaya ba kita? Acerta Bota! El JD Production, junto con el kapisanan ng mga broadcasters sa Pilipinas, KBP Zamboanga City Chapter, ay lleva con vosotros el Local Candidates Forum. Entendido escrutina el solusyon del mga kandidato na problema del ciudad de Zamboanga. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May we request our candidates present this morning to kindly please assemble at your left side of the venue.
Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022.
Once again, may request all the candidates present this morning to please assemble at the left side of the
Ako'y
venue.
matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. Cuanto eleksyon niya, Elia pasa. Pwede ba tu habla kay justo el desisyon kung quién to'y abota? Zamboangueño, ya acertaya ba kita? Acerta Bota! El JD Production, junto con el kapisanan ng mga broadcasters sa Pilipinas, KBP Zamboanga City Chapter, ay lleva con vosotros el Local Candidates Forum. Entendido escrutina el solusyon del mga kandidato na problema del ciudad de Zamboanga. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. April 26, 2022, Congressional Candidates Forum. April 27, 2022, Mayoralty Candidates Forum. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. Maging matalino sa pagboto, matuto at huwag magpaloko. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. Cuanto eleksyon niya, Elia pasa. Pwede ba tu habla kay justo el desisyon kung quién to'y abota? Zamboangueño, ya acertaya ba kita? Acerta Bota! El JD Production, junto con el kapisanan ng mga broadcasters sa Pilipinas, KBP Zamboanga City Chapter, ay lleva con vosotros el Local Candidates Forum. Entendido escrutina el solusyon del mga kandidato na problema del ciudad de Zamboanga. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. April 26, 2022, Congressional Candidates Forum. April 27, 2022, Mayoralty Candidates Forum. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. Maging matalino sa pagboto, matuto at huwag magpaloko. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. Cuanto eleksyon niya, Elia pasa. Pwede ba tu habla kay justo el desisyon kung quién to'y abota? Zamboangueño, ya acertaya ba kita? Acerta Bota! LJD Production, junto con el kapisanan ng mga broadcasters sa Pilipinas, KBP Zamboanga City Chapter, ay lleva con vosotros el Local Candidates Forum. Entendido escrutina el solusyon del mga kandidato na problema del ciudad de Zamboanga. Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022. April 26, 2022, Congressional Candidates Forum. April 27, 2022, Mayoralty Candidates Forum. Acerta Bota!
Once again, good morning to everyone. May I request everyone to please rise for the doxology to be immediately followed by the Pambansang Awit and the Zamboanga Hermosa.
Acerta Bota! Ako'y matalino sa aking pagboto. The Local Candidates Forum 2022.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ.
may now take your seats, please. Buenos días, Zamboangueños y todos los residentes y votantes que entabuta aquí na Zamboanga City. Bienvenidos and welcome to our live broadcast from the Garden Deck of Garden Orchid Hotel for Day 2 of Aserta Bota, Ako'y Matalino sa Aking Pagboto, the Local Candidates Forum 2022. Nakapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas Zamboanga City Chapter. Through its partners, heeds the call of the people. Kayo po na nakikinig sa AM and FM radios, nanonood sa TV at cable, at sumusubaybay sa ating iba't ibang platforms ng social media ng ating mga KBP member stations at sa ating KBP Zamboanga Facebook page. Para lalong makilala ang mga kandidato na mabibigyan ng oportunidad at kapangyarihan gawing mas maunlad ang ating syudad at baguhin ang buhay ninyo at ng inyong pamilya. We invite you to listen, understand, and eventually choose who you believe would be the best and most qualified for the position. I am Eric Basilio, Vice Chairman for the KBP Zamboanga City Chapter and Station Manager for DXCM 97.9 Love Radio and DXHT 102.7 Yes the Best Zamboanga. And I will be your moderator for today. Once again, this is Aserta Bota, Ako'y Matalino sa Aking Pagboto, the Local Candidates Forum 2022. Yesterday, we presented the candidates running for the 1st and 2nd districts of Zamboanga City. Today, we will be getting to know more about the mayoral candidates through their answers, which have been representing Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, Barahama Abubakar Ismail. He was given an invitation but declined to attend. Independent candidate, Mr. Cesar Floreta Climaco. People's Reform Party Representative John Mendoza Dalipe was also extended an invitation but declined to attend. So with Kilusan Bagong Lipunan Representative Efrain Samuy Ekong. Present today is independent candidate Karim Bajin Ismail. Representing the Nationalist People's Coalition, Mr. Cesar Ledesma Jimenez Jr. And of course, representing Laban ng Demokratikong Pilipino, Mr. Celso Lorenzo Lobregat. Once again, a warm round of applause for our candidates present with us this morning. Thank you, candidates. You may now take your seats. Of course, we wouldn't want to waste any time, so let's start with our opening salvo question.